What's up, guys? Today we're going to be comparing the classic Galaxy Note 9 to the new S23 Ultra here. So I have quite a few people on the channel that are still holding on to their Note 9. Still a perfectly fine phone. I actually did an updated video about it here, but is this a good upgrade? I'll tell you off the bat, yes, it's a fantastic upgrade if you're looking to get a new phone. But there are some downgrades here with the S23 Ultra, like the lack of SD card support, and there is no headphone jack on here as well anymore. So if you're accustomed to headphone jack, if you're accustomed to SD card support, that could be a big drawback for you. But there are a lot of benefits here, so I want to go ahead and get into it, and maybe this will be enough to sway you to upgrade here. So let's go ahead and jump into the design here. So you can see big design upgrade here. It looks totally different. S23 Ultra looks newer. Obviously, you can see just the cameras have gotten so big these days on these phones here. It's just crazy. Just look at that. And yeah, they both have the same sort of body style. They're both very boxy. In the hand here, the Note 9 has a physical fingerprint scanner on the back, which works fantastic. And I love the color choices with the Note 9 series in general. I think the color choices are so much better. You just sort of have these really bland kind of colors on the S23 Ultra, but it really comes down to your own opinion, personal perspective of that. But there is something really nice here. You have a matte finish on the S23, so it doesn't pick up fingerprints. The Note 9 doesn't show fingerprints that bad, but you can see them if you hit it, the light a certain way. But yeah, it does have a more glossy finish here. And like I said, the lack of headphone jack is on here. They both have the built-in S Pen, of course, here. And the S23 Ultra, you can see, is definitely heavier. You will notice the difference immediately, and it's also a little bit bigger as well too. Also, they're both IP68 dust and water resistant as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the screen. So what are the upgrades with the screen? With the Note 9, you have a 6.4-inch display. It's a Super AMOLED HDR10, and then it is 1440p 516 for the PPI. The S23 Ultra has a bigger 6.8-inch display. It's dynamic AMOLED, 120Hz, and it also has HDR10 Plus, and then it gets much brighter than the Note 9 at 1750 nits. It's also a 1440p resolution screen with 500 for the PPI. Basically, as far as screen quality, the Note 9 still actually has a very beautiful screen. It doesn't have any type of punch hole or notch, which is something that I always really liked. Color-wise, they pretty much look identical resolution-wise. The Note 9 is still very sharp. Icons and everything still look really good. So it's not really so much the screen quality. I think for the average person, they won't notice too much of a difference. It really comes down to the actual 120 Hz in the outdoor brightness. The S23 Ultra is way brighter. It's way easier to see in direct sunlight, and also you do have much slimmer bezels on the S23 Ultra as well. It does look just more modern and more immersive, so that is really nice. They both also have a curved screen to it, or a curved display. The Note 9 does curve a little bit more aggressive than the S23 Ultra here, but two beautiful displays. So the main screen upgrade, again, S23 Ultra, brighter display in direct sunlight, and then also you have the 120 Hz, so it just feels a lot smoother when scrolling, swiping, doing whatever on your phone. It's gonna feel a lot smoother. Alright, so let's talk about these specs a little bit more here. So on the Note 9, the last major OS update was actually Android 10, and then this phone, it does have the Snapdragon 845 chip on here, and we also have micro SD card support, 128 gigs of internal storage and 6 gigs of RAM. This phone is no longer getting security patches as well too, which is might be another reason to upgrade as well. And also, guys, it's just a massive score jump here with the single and the multi-core, and also the GPU. They're just much stronger on the S23 Ultra here. The S23 Ultra, it does have the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy. It is also a no SD card support, like I said, and then you also have, this version is 512 gigabytes and then 12 gigs of RAM here. So as far as the speed, you will overall notice it's just a smooth experience. Again, the 120 Hz really plays a big part of it. Not so much in general application loading though. The Note 9 is still very fast when it comes to your general applications and just, you know, being in applications. Animations are going to be a little bit smoother on the S23 Ultra is one thing that I noticed. Now launching games on the S23 Ultra, it's kind of a little bit of a difference, but like I said, the Note 9 is a flagship phone, so you're not going to see like a crazy massive difference. So you can see the Note 9 really like right behind it. So again, not too much of a noticeable difference. Now when it comes to playing games, yes, the S23 Ultra will be way more consistent with frame rates than the Note 9. And also the Note 9 does get much hotter in general when charging or just when gaming, using camera. It does get a little bit hot. Also, you know, speed, guys, just really nice on the Note 9, surprisingly. It's still a very fast phone. I think a lot of people get surprised by that since it's such an older phone. But again, these older flagships are meant to last, is what I tell people a lot. Now, when we launch a heavier game, you might see a bit of a difference here when it comes to speed. In general gaming performance, this is going to be, again, another big upgrade since we just have much better specs here. For PUBG, you'll be able to play HDR Extreme consistently, and I don't think we even have the HDR Extreme option on the Note 9. It is actually capable of doing the 90 frames option as well too for PUBG. It just hasn't been updated. So I would say if you're, if you're a gamer, you play a lot of games on your phone, it's also another reason. You can see here, they should update this eventually. You can see just much faster getting into PUBG here. And you can see our settings for PUBG. We're only able to go up to HDR Ultra. We can do HDR Extreme. I mean, we can do Smooth Extreme, but there's no HDR Extreme. So again, just in general, whatever game you're playing, whether it's Genshin, Call of Duty, the S23 Ultra is going to be a much better phone when it comes to the overall gaming experience. So if you, like I said, if you are a gamer, this is going to be a great experience. It doesn't get as hot as well too, which is also another big thing for gaming. But yeah, so you guys can see here, Note 9 is still, again, very smooth, very impressive though. It's still, I think it still does better than a lot of mid-range phones, honestly, the Snapdragon 845 chip. And again, I didn't talk about the price, but the Note 9 you can find crazy cheap, literally like $150. I see them around all the time. But you can see that little frame inconsistency there. You don't really get those on the newer chips, so you'll rarely get that on the S23 Ultra here. It's just overall going to be way smoother experience when it comes to gaming. So like I said, if you're a serious gamer, you'll love this upgrade for, just the raw power. Let's check out these speakers side by side, max volume. So you guys should be able to hear that, but the S23 Ultra is much louder. It's just a much better speaker. It's fuller, more bass. Overall, again, another great upgrade here when it comes to the sound quality. Note 9 still has great speakers, but again, this is a very nice upgrade. It's very noticeable. Also with the S Pen here. So if you are a big fan of the S Pen, you're not getting like, as far as the software wise, it still does essentially a lot of the same things. But what's going on here with the S Pen is that the S Pen is overall on the S23 Ultra, it's faster or it's more accurate as well. So that's one thing that you will notice. If you're into digital artwork and stuff like that, then you'll really notice that and feel that, especially with the 120 Hertz. Also just navigating with the S Pen and stuff like that, you should feel just the overall smoothness difference. The Note 9's S Pen is still really fast, so it's not like it's slow or anything like that. I typically don't really use the S Pens too often unless I'm going to the store or something and I need to jot down a list. It's really good for that. But again, this is still feels really fast. It feels close, but you could tell the slight difference with the tracking there. As far as the other additional features go, the Note 9, like I said, it does have the physical fingerprint scanner on the back. You are going to be moving to a in-display fingerprint sensor as well too on the S23 Ultra. Which and again, that comes down to personal preference, which one you like. They both do face unlock, and they pretty much have the same features when it comes to the essentials like Samsung desktop support, secure folders, screen recording, all that good stuff is still on here, so you're not really missing out on a lot. But again, if you're really into Samsung software, again, there's a ton of more stuff on One UI 5.1 than there is on Android 10. So, you know, do note that if you're really into software and stuff like that, there is like a lot more you can do with the new One UI software. All right, so this is probably the biggest upgrade here, but it is going to be the cameras here. So the S23 Ultra has a 200 megapixel camera, 10 megapixel telephoto lens. It does 10x optical zoom, and then it does 30 and then all the way up to 100 times zoom. You also have a 12 megapixel ultra wide. It shoots in 8K 30 now, which is really nice. And then you have a 12 megapixel selfie that shoots in 4K 60. The Note 9 only has two cameras on it. It has a 12 megapixel standard and then a 12 megapixel telephoto that does 2x optical zoom. You also have an 8 megapixel selfie cam and then a 2 megapixel dedicated iris scanner as well too, which is very cool. It's able to scan your eye, and I like it. It's pretty cool. You also have 1440p video. So basically you're just getting a way more cameras. It's just so much more to work with here. And check out the side-by-side stills. Basically the big thing that I noticed is that the S23 Ultra really shines, and again in lower light settings you will notice that difference immediately. The Note 9 still does pretty good outdoors and like bright lights, but check out these side-by-side stills so you guys can see. Let me know what you guys think. Alright guys, here's the video on the Note. Got our 2x. Let's see that. Alright, let me know what you guys think. Alright guys, here's just a little test footage of the S23 Ultra here for the video. The 3x, 10x. As you can see, just look at the detail. It's really nice. Very impressive. And we do have a 0.6 on here as well too. So just awesome image quality here, man. Also guys, we're getting a very good battery upgrade too as well. So the S23 Ultra does have a bigger battery at 5,000 milliamps. It has 45 watt charging with wireless and reverse wireless charging. The Note 9 does have a 4,000 milliamp battery, and you only have 15 watt wired charging with wireless charging. There is no reverse wireless charging as well too. So you're getting faster speeds and overall way better screen on time and way better standby time as well too. So this is going to be a great upgrade when it comes to battery life. S23 Ultra, it gets around a day and a half to 2 days of battery life. Extremely impressive when it comes to battery this year. So that is pretty much it, guys. Overall, I think it's a pretty good upgrade if you're coming from a Note 9 here. I think there is a lot of stuff to like here, especially with the better screen, the updated design, the cameras, faster chipset. I think it's definitely worth it if you have the money. But again, you are losing some essential things here, like the headphone jack and the SD card support. So you won't be able, you're sort of locked into the storage that you have on the S22, S23 Ultra. You can't really put an SD card in there if you take a lot of videos, download like games and stuff. So that's the only downside to this upgrade. So be sure to let me know, what do you guys think? And I'll catch you guys in the next one.